Pak Bagus, I think we can start.
Ya, terima kasih. Salam hangat, Governor Ridwan Kamil. Okay, we're about to start right now. Just going to set the agenda in front of us just real quick. Okay. Thank you. A very good afternoon to colleagues in Indonesia. Very good morning to those watching in the UK. Today we are here for witnessing the momentous event of the signing of the letter of intent between the University of Nottingham and the government of West Java. I am Bagus Mulyadi. I'm an assistant professor at the University of Nottingham. I am very pleased today to witness such an event taking place, not least because of the importance of the event and the topics covered in the letter, but also for some sentimental reasons. I graduated from Institut Teknologi Bandung in West Java, and now I'm an academic at the University of Nottingham. So it just goes on to show how committed both countries, the UK and Indonesia, in tackling most important challenges in the world today. The letter of intent will cover issues of collaboration covering climate change, the expediting of the uptake of electric vehicles in Indonesia as means to mitigate global warming and to meet the net zero emission target, and also for maximizing Indonesia's potential as the country with great new sources for renewable energy, like geothermal and others. So attending this event with us are colleagues from the University of Nottingham, Professor Sharer West, the Vice Chancellor and President of the University of Nottingham, Professor Robert Mokaya, the Pro-Vice Chancellor of Global Engagement. From the Indonesian side, Governor Ridwan Kamil. Thank you very much for attending and giving us your time in this busy schedule of yours. Colleagues from West Java, colleagues from Bogor City, colleagues from British Embassy, colleagues from Indonesian Embassy in London, from Department of International Trade, and others, and Ministry of Transportation. Attending also with us, the Director General Budi Setiadi from Director General of Land Transportation, Ministry of Transportation, and from the Ministry of Energy and Natural Resources, Indonesia. Well, thank you very, very much indeed. So over the next 1 hour, we will have two sessions. The first session will be dedicated to the ceremony of the letter of intent signing ceremony. Professor Sharer West will give her remarks, followed by Governor Ridwan Kamil and the signing of the letter of intent. And then followed by the remarks from both embassies. And then at the session 2, we will have speeches from Professor Patrick Wheeler and from Ministry of Transportation, Director General Budi Setiadi. So without further ado, I'm very pleased today to welcome our first speaker, welcome remarks from the University of Nottingham Vice Chancellor and President, Professor Sharer West. Professor Sharer West, can you hear me?
Yes, I can. Thank you very much, Bagus. And thanks, everyone. It's really, really lovely to be here. Your Excellency, Dr. Ridwan Kamil, Governor of West Java, Your Excellency, Deskra Perkaya, Indonesian Ambassador to the UK, Ireland, and IMO, colleagues from the British Embassy in Indonesia, Indonesian Ministry of Transportation, the UK Department of International Trade, and Indonesian Ministry of Energy and Mineral Resources. Good afternoon to all of you, and good morning to those in the UK. It's my honour to speak on behalf of the University of Nottingham and to witness the signing of a letter of intent between the university and the West Java government. As a global university, Nottingham always welcomes partnerships that aim to tackle the world's most challenging issues. In April this year, the UK government set the world's most ambitious climate change target into law to reduce emissions by 78% by 2035. In that same month, the third Indonesian United Kingdom Partnership Forum took place, during which both countries reaffirmed their commitment to achieving the Sustainable Development Goals and the Paris Agreement, including strengthening national action on climate change mitigation and adaptation. In particular, collaboration in the sustainable transport sectors and adoption of electric vehicles EV is at the heart of UK-Indonesia partnership. I'm really pleased today that our institutions have agreed on establishing cooperation on the development of electric vehicle infrastructure in West Java province. In order to expedite the uptake of EV, strong manufacturing underpinned by high quality research along the EV value chain is much needed. The University of Nottingham is home to globally reputable research centres such as Power Electronics, Machine and Drives Research Centre, the Institute for Aerospace Technologies, and Nottingham Transportation Engineering Centre. Drawing on strengths from across our 3 campuses and our world-class research, the University of Nottingham has the right expertise to assist the Indonesian government to develop its EV infrastructures. Indeed, earlier this year, Nottingham's Global Challenge Research Fund project, led by Dr. Bagus Muhadi, whom you've just heard speaking, in collaboration with the West Java government, had helped design and develop domestic EV infrastructures in Indonesia, as well as understand targets and constraints of carbon reduction through electric vehicles. In addition, in August this year, the University of Nottingham collaborated with the Indonesian Ministry of Transportation in accelerating the adoption of EV in the country, providing policy recommendations that support the safety regulations of EV. Moving forward, Nottingham will continue to collaborate with the West Java government in developing training and capacity building, as well as making the provision for joint funding applications that support carbon emission reduction in the transportation sector. I would like to thank the Indonesian Embassy in London for their very strong support over the last years, which makes these strong collaborations with our Indonesian partners possible. Thank you all very much.
Thank you very, very much, Sharon. And it is my honor today to welcome Governor Ridwan Kamil. Governor Ridwan Kamil, thank you very much for your time. We welcome you for your remarks.
Thank you, Dr. Bagus. Good afternoon in Indonesia and maybe morning in UK. Excellency, the Indonesian Ambassador to UK, represented by Minister Chancellor for Information and Social Cultural Affairs, Country Director, Department of International Trade from the British Embassy in Jakarta, representative from Ministry of Transportation and from Republic of Indonesia, and also from the Ministry of Energy and Mineral Resources, Republic Indonesia. Excellency Vice Chancellor of the University of Nottingham, Pro Vice Chancellor Global Engagement of University of Nottingham, UK-Indonesia Consortium for Interdisciplinary Sciences, and also my team, Head of Energy and Mineral Resources Office of West Java and External Relations. Ladies and gentlemen, so many good news I would like to share regarding today's ceremony. First of all, about 5 hours ago, I was accompanying Mr. President Joko Widodo to start the groundbreaking for $1.1 billion in factory producing electric battery for EV. The first and the biggest in ASEAN. So I think today is all about EV related event for me as a governor. This will be done in 2 years. So hopefully by 2023, Indonesia will produce its own electric battery for EV for all kind of vehicle. That's good news number one. The second good news, with the South Korean automaker, we have already on progress building the EV produced in my province, West Java, and will be deliver first car in around March or April next year, 2022. So in the next 6 months, or so, we will see the first born of our EV produced in West Java. It means West Java is the forefront and also the most progressive province when it comes to EV technology in ASEAN. Of course, this news related to EV is part of our ambition to change the way we live in West Java, especially because during the COVID crisis, the last couple years, 1.5 years, we have decided to research on what is our direction of the new economy. We have 7 new economy. 1 out of the 7 would be focusing on renewable resources, energy economy. We could call it green economy, we can call it sustainable economy, but basically we are looking forward to be the most progressive region when it comes to renewable energy. So number 1, within this master plan, in 2019, we have what we call regional energy master plan that will create a stage where 1/3 of car population in my province must be replaced by EV as soon as possible. Yeah. Even I was I'm the first governor who now using EV as my daily transportation. Yeah. I bought 2 cars, 1 for myself, 1 for the police escort, the foraggers. So I think the only government out of 500 local and regional government that using EV is only West Java government. Second is we are also shifting from fossil fuel based power to many renewable energy. We are also building, as we speak, the biggest solar farm on the water. Yeah, with Masdar is a UIA company. Yeah, we have so many lakes, and we now building construction to build the biggest solar panel farm on the water in West Java also. When it comes to urban issues, we are currently on the bidding for changing the municipal waste to energy also. Yeah, so the area of my capital, Greater Bandung, 5 cities agreed to use technology waste to energy to change from municipal waste back to electricity. Hopefully in the next couple of months, we will start also the construction. And also the wind farm in Sukabumi, for example, geothermal also. We are the biggest producer of geothermal in Indonesia also. I think given all the facts that I'm telling all of you, there is no reason why West Java not to optimistic. Yeah? So we are very optimistic in bringing this region into the #1 region that are embracing the new world, the new economy, post-COVID economy, focusing on renewable energy, especially we start with something we like and we have, which is the EV industry. Also last year, I was elected as chairman for 100 cities and regional government focused on renewable energy. So this is my responsibility to spread the mission of changing the fossil fuel to more renewable energy in the next coming years, influencing at least 100 mayors and governors to be part of these missions. We are hoping, according to study 2015, 2050, theoretically Indonesia could be sufficient 100% energy to renewable energy, but it's up to the political decision whether we would like to take it as 100%, as only 50%, or only 30%. So I think there is another side of this issue. So once again, by having this max, we are very much welcome the University of Nottingham resources and knowledge to assist West Java economy, to assist West Java civilization also, on how we can have a collaboration and bringing West Java as a model society that are really focused on green economy, especially in the EV industry. So we are hoping after this signing ceremony, we would like to see a research progress and also research cooperations. If I can change any policy, even from the finding of the research, more than happy to also make this political decision, because the most expensive thing coming from the leaders is the political will. So I'm giving my political will for these important goals. So I would like to thank you, the Prof. Vice Chancellor, Global Engagement, also UK Consortium for Interdisciplinary Sciences, and many people from University of Nottingham, the British Embassy in Jakarta, and also Indonesian Embassy in London. So I think that would be my notes, very optimistic, and looking forward for more good news coming from our collaborative agreement. Thank you very much, and I'm giving back to
Thank you. Thank you very much, Governor Ridwan Kamil, for the insightful remarks, and for Professor Cheryl West. We will soon be followed by the signing ceremony. Attending with us today, Professor Robert Mokaya. For colleagues at the Government of West Java, kindly please spotlight Professor Robert Mokaya, Governor Ridwan Kamil, and Professor Cheryl West for the signing ceremony. When you are ready, please kindly sign the documents in front of you and have it shown to the camera for a photo session together. So when you're ready, have it hold right next to you and show it to the camera, and we will have a photo session together. Colleagues from West Java, if you can, please give me a cue as to whether you can take a picture. Thank you. Would you hold it for like 3 seconds? 3, 2, 1. Thank you. Well, thank you very, very much indeed. Thank you. So I'm very happy for this momentous event taking place. We understand that Governor Ridwan Kamil and Professor Cheryl West would be busy. So after the photo session, you could leave. But similarly, you are very, very much welcome to attend this event with us. Well, thank you very much. Professor Robert Mokaya, could you kindly give 1 or 2 words of remarks to consolidate the collaboration between the UK and Indonesia in this case?
Thank you. Thank you very much, Bagus, and good morning to my colleagues here in the UK, and good afternoon to our colleagues and friends in Indonesia. I'm very pleased with the words that Your Excellency, Dr. Kamil, the Governor, you have said. You have made it very clear that you're committed and you're committing West Java Province to this collaboration. As a university, we are very pleased that we are signing this letter of intent, and we really very much look forward to moving this collaboration forward. It taps into an area of excellence for us here in Nottingham, and of course, an area that is very important in tackling a very key global challenge in terms of climate change, as we seek to find more sustainable ways of managing to have efficient transport. But let me also say that we very much recognize at Nottingham that West Java Province is the home of two excellent institutions, Institute of Technology Bandung and IBP University, who are members of the UK-Indonesia Consortium for Interdisciplinary Sciences, which is a consortium that has already been active over the past year. And so this is actually going to deepen our collaboration. And just again, reflecting on the words that our Vice Chancellor, Sheriff West, has also put out in terms of our commitment. So thank you all very much for being here today. And really, we very look forward to a fruitful collaboration in the days and months to come. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Robert. Now we will follow with the remarks from the representative from both governments in both countries, from the Indonesian Embassy in London, Minister Councillor Hartio Harkomoyo. Mr. Hartio, could you hear me?
Yes, Dr.
Please.
Bagus. Thank you, Dr. Bagus. Yang terhormat Bapak Gubernur Ridwan Kamil, Vice Chancellor Professor Sheryl West, and Professor Robert Mokaya from the University of Nottingham, Mr. Oliver Richard from the British Embassy in Jakarta, my UKC's college, ladies and gentlemen. Good morning from the UK and good afternoon to you in Indonesia. Allow me to congratulate Bapak Gubernur for the good news related to electric vehicle and renewable energy that really show the commitment of the West Java government to develop sustainable transportation, research, and green industry. I would like also to express our appreciation to the government of the West Java and University of Nottingham for commencing a cooperation on electric vehicle. The signing of the LOI is a testimony that Indonesia and the UK are working relentlessly to strengthen Indonesia's national research priority and human resources. It also serves as a follow-up on the MOU on research and innovation cooperation between the two countries. I further appreciate that these electric vehicle cooperations reflects University of Nottingham's eagerness to work with Indonesia as one of its priority countries partners. Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, transportation in Indonesia currently produces almost 30% of its total CO2 emissions that contribute to global warming. Thus, the effort to further expedite electric vehicle development in Indonesia is very important. The signing of this LOI, I believe, would contribute to the fulfillment of Indonesian national determined contribution target of cutting 29% of greenhouse gases emissions by 2030 with its own effort and 41% with international support. It also very timely since the Indonesian government and the UK will work together with international community to address climate change challenges in the upcoming COP26 in Glasgow. It proves that our commitment to lead the world by example for greener growth, clean energy, and climate actions is supported by many stakeholders, including, and most importantly, from regional government and scientists. To this end, I hope that both parties would be encouraged to develop plan of low-hanging fruits, concrete cooperation activities with achievable target, connect and collaborate with related stakeholders and wider Indonesian diaspora, especially scientists, and rest assured that the Indonesian Embassy in London will be at your disposal to make sure that this LOI achievement will not stop here at its signing. The embassy will do its best to facilitate the parties to implement the LOI in the future. I strongly believe that today's events mark an important indication that Indonesia and the UK partnership will grow stronger. Thank you. Thank you, Mas Bagus.
Thank you very much, Pak Hartomoyo. I would like to acknowledge before we begin with the speech from the British Embassy in Indonesia, the contribution from colleagues throughout the country. Attending with us today is colleagues from British Embassy, of course, but also from Ministry of Finance, LPDP, Ministry of Transportation, Ministry of Energy. This is not the first time we collaborate. This is the continuation of what we have done before. I'm so looking forward to manifesting the agreements in the letter. Well, today we will be followed again by a speech from the British Embassy representative, which is by the country manager of the Department of International Trade, Mr. Oliver Richards. Mr. Oliver Richards, can you hear me?
I can. Thank you very much, Pak Bagus.
Okay. Thank you.
Good afternoon, everyone. Bapak Gubernur Ridwan Kamil, good afternoon. Good afternoon to Professor Shira West, Vice Chancellor at the University of Nottingham, and colleagues. And good afternoon to our dear friends and colleagues at the Indonesian Embassy, Bapak Hartio, as well as the long list of participants and partners that you've just mentioned. Bagus, good afternoon to everyone. I guess it falls to me, first of all, to say thank you and congratulations to all of the partners in this project for reaching this point, which I hope will be a start of a successful and growing partnership. It's always a great pleasure for us at the British Embassy to see UK education institutions getting involved in Indonesia. It's a real area of strength for us, and we're delighted and grateful for the University of Nottingham's involvement in this important partnership. But equally, on an issue-specific basis, as our colleague from the Indonesian Embassy has mentioned, COP26, the climate change conference happening in a couple of months in Glasgow, is a big priority for the British government. And we really want to use this moment to shift global ambition on decarbonisation. So it's fantastic to hear the plans, Bapak Gubernur, for your area of the country. And we are really keen to do everything we can to support those. And referencing your own economic plan with 7 pillars, I think it's appropriate as well for us to refer back to a similar plan that the UK government has, the 10-point plan for a green industrial revolution. And that was announced last year by our Prime Minister and covers 10 areas where we think, where we want to invest in the technologies of the future. So everything from wind to hydrogen, carbon capture, green finance, and of course electric vehicles is a big and important part of that journey. And you don't have to look far now in the UK to see signs of that investment maturing into real-world practical solutions. If you go to London, you can see that there are currently 200 electric buses on the roads with ambitions to increase that to 2,000 at some point in the next few years. You can see over 2,000 London taxis, which are now electric, not the old ones that we are all familiar with. And if you go down almost any residential street in any residential area, you find those electric charging points cropping up all over the place. So I think the combination of the investment we're making in industry and the expertise that the University of Nottingham can bring are complementary. And I hope that through this partnership, we might be able to pull in other opportunities for collaboration as well. So I just conclude by saying a huge congratulations once again to our partners and to say, as with others, that our door is open to discuss wider collaboration in some of those areas as well. Thank you very much. And back to you, Bapak Bagus.
Thank you very much, Mr. Oliver. Thank you very much. I would like to acknowledge in this occasion the contribution from Indonesian diaspora academics throughout the UK. Attending with us are colleagues from the UK-Indonesia Consortium for Interdisciplinary Sciences. We together have been working hard to transfer knowledge exchange, facilitate knowledge exchange between the UK and Indonesia. And also attending with us today, colleagues from Nagara Science Ecosystem, our venture in Indonesia that helped manifest Nottingham University's work in the country, and also the colleagues from Kota Bogor, represented by Madam Secretary Ibu Syarifah Sofia. Thank you very much for attending. We are nearing the end of our first session. I would like to welcome again Dr. Ridwan Kamil to give a closing remark followed by photo sessions. So closing remarks followed by photo session. Governor Ridwan Kamil, if you can hear me.
Yeah. Once again, on behalf of regional government of West Java, we are the biggest population of 50 million. We are also the strongest economy. We are more or less the 20% of Indonesia when it comes to population, economy also. And we are very happy to see this ceremony as part of our reaching point to start West Java as the #1 and most progressive region when it comes to EV industry. And we are hoping along the way we will see collaboration with UK and the University of Nottingham becoming a fruitful result, and also becoming the model of how we embrace the new and better and more cleaner world in Indonesia. Thank you very much, and hopefully I'm reporting to you also COVID is now very low in Indonesia. Yeah. 2 months ago, our hospital reaching 91% occupancy, now it's only 9.3%. So we are the record low in terms of COVID cases and also people treated in hospitals. So we are hoping by finishing the vaccine by the end of the year, we are embracing a normal and more optimistic to our economy, especially our renewable energy economy. Once again, looking forward for more meetings and good news coming from this ceremony of Washington. Thank you very much. Giving back to Mr. Fox.
Thank you very much, Governor Ridwan Kamil. Among all, I miss Indonesia so much. Cannot wait to go back to the country, go visit West Java and eat nasi liwet. Thank you very much indeed. So as the mark of the end of session 1, we welcome everybody to turn on their camera and have a joint photo session with Governor Ridwan Kamil. So please, for colleagues in West Java, if you could help me have a print screen, or screenshot on my cue. So there are quite some participants here. There are 3 pages, so I'm going to count to 5. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Thank you very much. That marks the end of our first session. Governor Ridwan Kamil, thank you very, very much indeed to allocate your time in your very busy schedule. You are excused to go. Certainly, we will continue with session 2. Thank you very much for attending. Now, we are going to start the second section of our today's event. And we will first begin by showing to you the launching video ceremony that had been kindly prepared by colleagues from West Java. So for those in charge, I welcome you to share your screen to show the video to us.
Sektor transportasi hingga saat ini sangat bergantung pada energi fosil yang menyebabkan krisis iklim, berimplikasi negatif pada lingkungan dan kesehatan, sehingga diperlukan strategi khusus untuk keberlanjutan sektor transportasi. Pemerintah Provinsi Jawa Barat mencanangkan program penggunaan kendaraan bermotor listrik berbasis baterai atau KBLBB dengan target 0,5 juta unit pada tahun 2050 yang diharapkan mampu menurunkan emisi karbon sebanyak 4,25 juta ton karbon. Hal ini juga memungkinkan memasukkan bauran energi baru terbarukan atau EBT yang lebih ramah lingkungan yang banyak digunakan untuk membangkitkan listrik. Upaya Pemprov Jabar salah satunya adalah menyediakan infrastruktur pendukung berupa stasiun pengisian kendaraan listrik. Di sisi penyediaan energi, Pemprov Jabar melalui Dinas ESDM telah menginventarisasi potensi EBT di Jawa Barat. Seperti pembangkit listrik tenaga surya untuk sekolah, pembangkit listrik energi air di perkotaan, hingga pembangkit listrik tenaga mikro hidro untuk pedesaan dan kegiatan ekonomi sekitar. Namun kegiatan tersebut memerlukan kolaborasi baik dari sektor privat ataupun akademis. Dengan kolaborasi dengan the University of Nottingham UK yang memiliki pengalaman dan tenaga ahli dalam bidang tersebut yang mampu mendorong pengurangan emisi karbon terutama pada sektor transportasi. Kerjasama ini mencakup pengembangan model usaha stasiun pengisian kendaraan listrik, implementasi kendaraan listrik, dan pemanfaatan energi terbarukan. Selain itu, peningkatan kapasitas aparatur negara juga menjadi kegiatan dukungan demi keberlangsungan seluruh upaya Pemprov Jabar dalam menurunkan emisi gas rumah kaca. Diharapkan kerjasama yang dilakukan dengan the University of Nottingham menciptakan kolaborasi yang baik bagi tercapainya tujuan Jabar juara lahir batin di sektor energi dan listrik yang berkelanjutan.
Thank you very much for that wonderful video. I'm very charged right now. Cannot wait to start the collaboration. Colleagues in Nottingham that had kindly started this collaboration, Professor Patrick Wheeler, Professor Kulwan Pawar, Professor Sean Rigby, Dr. Kevin Amos, that had worked with both Ministry of Transportation and the West Java government for the past 6-7 months, I think. So in the second section today, we will have speeches and talks from our academics and our representative from the Ministry of Transportation. From the Ministry of Transportation will be represented by Director of Sarana Transportasi Jalan, Bapak Muhammad Rizal Wasal, yang sudah hadir di tengah-tengah kita pada hari ini. Pak Rizal Wasal, terima kasih. Good to see you again.
Ya, masih sore Pak Bagus. Thank you Pak Bagus. Nice to see you Pak Bagus.
Thank you. Well, we would welcome your remarks and talk whenever you're ready. Time is yours. Thank you very much.
Okay. Thank you, Pak Bagus. Ladies and gentlemen, Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Peace be upon you and Allah mercy and blessing. Yang hormati Pak Bagus, Pak Profesor Patrick Wheeler, Pak Ridwan Kamil, Bapak Gubernur mungkin masih hadir, Bapak Profesor Sheryl West dari Vice Chancellor of the University of Nottingham, Bapak dari Ambassador baik UK Indonesia, Ambassador UK and Ireland maupun Ambassador the British Ambassador of Indonesia. Ladies and gentlemen, firstly, praise and gratitude we pray to the President of the Good Almighty because of the gift and blessing we can gather together virtually at noon today in good health and to participate this meeting. The activity of signing of the letter of intent ceremony between the regional government of West Java province and the University of Nottingham. Apologize from Bapak Budi Setiadi, the Director General of Land Transport. He cannot join, he cannot participate of this activity directly and allow us to convey his cannot. Ladies and gentlemen, I would like to appreciate and congratulate congrats to the regional government of West Java province for holding the signing of the letter of intent on reducing carbon emission in the transportation sector through the conversion of electric vehicle and the use of a new and renewable energy. The signing of this letter of intent is a step forward from the province of West Java in improving the transportation in West Java regarding regulation, human resource, infrastructure, and the transportation system used with the electric vehicle. The global warming, the air pollution is a problem in the big city, like Bandung. They have a problem too in the global warming. One of the reason is from the transportation, or pollution for the transportation, exhaust from motor vehicle. And one of the efforts made to reduce air pollution level is by switching from motorized vehicle with combustion engine to electric motor vehicle. In the context of the synergy with President Regulation number 55 of 2019, the Ministry of Transportation has issued several regulations to support the acceleration of the use of a battery-based electric motorized vehicle. We call it KBLBB. Namely, like the regulation of the Minister of Transportation number 65 of 2020 concerning conversion of motorcycle with fuel motor drive into the battery-based electric motorcycles. Regulation of the Minister of Transportation number 86 of 2020 concerning the amendment of to the regulation of the Minister of Transportation number PM 44 of 2020 concerning the testing of physical types of motorized vehicle using electric motor. And last is a regulation of Minister of Transportation number 87 of 2020 concerning physical type testing of battery-based electric motor vehicle. The regulation show the Indonesia ready to now to the use for the electric vehicle based for the battery. The need for a common perception in the priority program for accelerating the implementation of the roadmap for the use of battery-based electric motorized vehicle and the use of electric vehicle to support agriculture, plantation, and environmental transportation. Of course, with SPKLU for the battery charging or SPBKLU for the motorcycle battery charging. Ladies and gentlemen, until now, the acceleration of the use of electric vehicle continues to be carried out in accordance with the Presidential Regulation number 55. Concerning the acceleration of the battery-based electric motor vehicle program for road transportation with the process of accelerating the implementation. First, electric vehicle manufacturers until July 2021 are like the figures. Passenger car, not sedan, we have 14 company. For bus, we have 7 company, and for motorcycle more than 28 company. Total, we have 49 company for the electric vehicle manufacturers. The number of the electric vehicle in Indonesia now, more than 9,000 vehicle, 9,204 for the electric vehicle, is consists from the passenger car, more than 1,400 cars, and for the three car for the 100 XT8, and for motorcycles very fast. They grow more than 7,500 motor vehicle, and bus on the 11. The acceleration of the use of electric vehicle is also carried out on the BRT, so the BTS program for urban public transport. Of course, Bandung, Jawa Barat, one of the province will use the BTS electric car to the public transport. And transportation, tourism transportation in the tourism area, we call the KSPN area, and two-wheel and three-wheel motorcycle, and of course the public transport like for the AKAP, because the AKAP for the long journey transportation. The implementation of the conversion of motorcycle from combustion engine to electric motor is in accordance with PM 65 of 2020 concerning the conversion of motorcycle with fuel motor of battery-based electric motorcycle, four-wheel, 4 and above. Now, with Damri, we try to prepare the regulation and a bus vehicle for to conversion in electric bus. Ladies and gentlemen, I think with the signing this letter of intent, it's a hope that the signing of the letter of intent ceremony between the West Java provincial government and the University of Nottingham can increase synergy and provide a roadmap support for the accelerating the use of battery-based electric motor vehicle, and so that the environmentally friendly and safe transportation can be realized. Thank you. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam. Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Pak Muhammad Rizal Wasal, for your talk. And from the UK side, we have been joined also by Professor Patrick Wheeler. Professor Patrick Wheeler is our academics at the University of Nottingham, Director of the Power Electronics Machine and Drive Research Center. So, Professor Patrick Wheeler, can you hear me?
Yep, I can hear you. And hopefully I've shared the screen as well.
Yes, you have. Thank you. Please.
Okay, it's a great pleasure to be here and to witness the signings earlier on. As many of you may, or some of you may know, I've been involved in this process over the recent months and year, and it's been great fun and very rewarding to work with everyone and to see this collaboration as it grows. I'm a professor at the University of Nottingham, and I lead a research group called the Power Electronics Machines and Control Research Group. And we're a large team. We have about 160 people just on the research side, looking into the technologies you need around electrical machines, power electronics, the systems, connecting up with the energy storage and so on. So the drivetrains you need to make electric vehicles happen. How do we make these happen? How do we make everything manufacturable? How do we actually help this process of going from an internal combustion engine to fully electric transportation? How do we help that process to grow across the world? And how do we help the supply chain in different nations to work on that and to make sure that the countries where electric cars are being implemented also build that infrastructure to support the electric vehicles and the industries to benefit and to make the components that are needed. This can't happen just with one or two countries. This has to be a truly global effort. So we've got a big research group looking at these technologies, developing what is happening. Nottingham has been investing in this area. My own research group has recently moved into a new building. It's a £20 million building. I'll tell you now, it doesn't look as tidy as in those photos because we've now moved in with all our equipment and with all our people. So Nottingham is making a big investment in this area. So it's a great time to be partnering with you in Indonesia. And when we look at what needs to be done, people always focus on the vehicle itself and the drivetrains. And certainly, as you can see in the middle of this slide, that's something that we also focus on. But the other areas where you need to consider is the infrastructure that has to go with those. We're quite used to the fact that most nations have a very good infrastructure for delivering gasoline, petrol, diesel to stations around the country so that you can fill your car up with a fossil fuel in most areas of the world. we now have to move to a situation where we can do something similar, but with electricity, and we can charge electric vehicles. So in the UK, we're looking at only electric vehicle sales after 2030. So no more internal combustion engine cars being sold. And therefore, the UK is slowly building up its infrastructure. I'd like to say probably not quite quickly enough. But in the bottom right there, you can see the first all-electric service station built in the UK. And the people behind that are planning 100 more in the coming years. This is a place where you just go in, you park your car, you plug it in for a quick charge, go and have a cup of coffee, and then continue your journey. One thing that's become very obvious to many of us is that the solutions in different countries are different. We all have different geographies, we all have different distances between our centres of population. One country I've worked with for a number of years is Chile, where there are long distances between the cities, but also particularly in the north of the country, lots of solar energy. So different countries will get this electricity from different places. And it doesn't just mean that we're looking at just increasing the electrical power network. There's a lot of work going on to connect renewable sources, local renewable sources, so that the distance the electricity actually is transmitted can be reduced. And when we do have to transmit electrical energy over long distances, looking at the technologies to reduce the losses, high voltage DC, for example, as well as smart grids and enabling technologies for remote communities. Can you have local networks that aren't necessarily connected to the general infrastructure? And can you improve access to energy for all as you go through that process? That's a big change. And it's a big change in the way we think, and it's a big change in the industry. And we have to think about how this affects the workforce and the opportunities that there are for the workforce. It's quite interesting with electric vehicle maintenance, there's significantly fewer moving parts on the vehicle. So going in to change the oil on your car is something that's not going to happen anymore. There's no oil because it's an electric motor. But there are things you still do need to do: brakes, tires, accident repairs, and so on. So this is going to change the workforce skills that we need. Some knowledge of electrical engineering, computing skills, and so on are going to replace that understanding of the internal combustion engine. And the whole workforce is going to have to change over time. This doesn't happen immediately. Over time, we're going to have to retrain people and train new people with a new skill set, as well as looking at the infrastructure of our countries to make sure that the electrical network and the charging stations and everything else are in the right place, they're installed, they're maintained, they have the supply of electrical energy that they need. So it's a great opportunity, I think, for countries that look at this early, that adopt the electrical vehicles, but also get very involved in the support, the workforce, and all the opportunities for our industries to work on the technologies that we need. And I think that underlines the need for the type of agreement we've seen signed today, and this international cooperation, so that we can work together and mutually benefit from the understanding and the process that we're going to be going through in learning about this brave new world. So thank you very much for listening. I will hand back to Bagus. Thank you very much for the opportunity to speak.
Thank you very much indeed. Again, as always, Professor Patrick Wheeler. Thank you. This marks the end of our second session and the end of the entire session today. It's a short but very meaningful one. I'm very pleased once again to have been involved in the collaboration between West Java and the University of Nottingham. But in the future, we would like to see the collaboration scaled up into not only Nottingham, but also other universities, and not only West Java, but the entire country, because the world is facing a common problem right now, the problem with climate change, the problem with meeting net zero emission target, The UK will host the COP26 in the end of October for 1 month. Indonesian delegates will be there. We believe that when it comes to conversations about meeting net zero emission target, Indonesia cannot be excluded. Indonesia is a place where there's an abundant resource of geothermal energy, as Governor Ridwan Kamil has said that the West Java hosts many of that. When you talk about base minerals for battery, the country is the largest producer in the world. Peatland is abundant in Indonesia, the greatest natural resource source sink. Yeah, the greatest natural sink for carbon dioxide is in Indonesia. So we would like to bridge knowledge exchange, and we would like to build capacity in Indonesia. We would like to upskill the human resources in the country so that Indonesia can maximize its potential to become not only participants but dominant players in the age where collaboration is direly needed. I would like to thank every colleagues from West Java government, Ibu Ani Widiani, Pak Slamet, Kang Dimas, Teh Gias. Thank you very much for your very big support. Also attending with us today, the Ministry of Energy and Mineral Resources in Indonesia. Many key stakeholders attended this event, and for which I am very grateful and happy about. So again, thank you very much, and we're looking forward to manifesting the collaboration and not just signing the MOU or LOI. Indeed. So with that, I would like to close today's event. You can stay here for a while to mingle and say hi to each other. On behalf of the University of Nottingham, my name is Bagus Mulyadi. Thank you very much for attending this event. Thank you. Good afternoon to you in Indonesia. Good morning to you in the UK.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Pak Bagus.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Thank
Congratulations.
you. Thank you, Pak Bagus.
Congratulations.
Thank you, Alhamdulillah.
Pak Bagus. For its implementation. Thank you, Pak Bagus.
Thank
Mantap.
you.
Pak
Thank you,
Bagus,
Profesor
mungkin
Robert
kita
Mokaya.
perlu
Thank you.
perlu itu materi paparan yang dari Pak
Ya.
itu ya.
Wheeler ya.
Ya, ya.
Pak Wheeler ya.
Prof. Wheeler.
Pat,
Yeah,
do
yeah.
you mind if the PowerPoint is shared to colleagues in West Java?
Dimas?
No, that's fine. No problem at all. I'll send you a copy of a slightly more extended version.
Thank you. Thank you
Thank
very
you,
much.
Pak Wheeler. Thank you.
Thank
Pak.
you, Mrs. Wheeler. Okay, then everybody.
Ya.
Ya, boleh pamit. Ibu
Ya, terima kasih Bu
Thank you,
Yuni.
Dimas,
Ya, Bu.
Pak Babat, dan semua
Terima
teman-teman.
kasih, Bapak Ibu.
Selamat.
Terima kasih.
Ya, Bu Dewi. Terima kasih banyak.